Okay, and then when I am starting to do these cuttings in this cable, I take this Dremel cutting disc, what is really excellent, and I open this package, and there I have this cutting disc, what is in there, and there is this drill bite in here, and then I press that down, and then I insert the disc in there. And now disc is ready, good. Then I insert that disc in this Dremel's multitools head. Okay, and now it's ready. And then I think that when I need more lubrication in here, that I will do in here one cut, in here cut, and here cut, and here cut, like 4 cut, and then I add oil in there, and let's look that how much better this handbrake cable moves, because now when I try to move that cable with 2 fingers, it is totally stuck in here, and in that other area, when we look in here, that point, what is in there, when I try to move, it is totally stuck. But let's look at what oil helps. And my first step is that I insert that my cable in that my workbench, because then I can do those cuttings more easily. Because there is now situation that there is inside that kind of cable, and I can't cut that, but little bit this outside I can cut, and then I can add oil in there, and I have this small oil adding this instrument what I got from some doctor. I remember I was visiting in doctor, and of course if I have this sharp spike and nail in there, then it is better to insert this engine oil, but this is better than nothing. Okay, and there's my Dremel, and then of course I need protective eyeglasses and hearing protection, and soon we continue. Okay, and now I start my Dremel in here, and in here first cut. Little bit more speed. Okay. Okay, and now there is cutting, and in that hole, okay, when I move that cable in here, there is movement, and I have in here small can what is full of Mobile 1 Rally Formula engine oil, and I will add in there this my oil next in there inside in that way, and then I move that my cable in that way, good, and then I notice that I can insert my oil in also in here, like the starting point, and this is like lubrication. Okay, and then I lubricate that, and my target is that this cable moves finally with 2 fingers, 1, 2, 1, 2 fingers, and now it's too stuck. But this is nice, and then let's look that. Okay, and then I add my oil. There's my oil can. There I add this oil more in there. And then I move that my cable. Okay, good. And then I take new place. I think that I do my new cutting in here, in that position, and then I start my Dremel. Okay, and now there is hole, and I add there my oil again. Good oil in there, and then I move that my cable. I move my cable in there. There's my cable, that area. What I move in here. Okay, now this my cable is moving really well. It moves really nicely. This moves even now with 2 fingers, excellent. But then I continue my oil adding, and there was this one position where I add this oil. Then I add more. I go forward, and there is something place in here. In that place I do in there also cut. Okay, and not too much, because then I can damage this inner cable. And there I insert also oil, and then I move the cable. Good. And then I do so that I, in that step, I insert that my cable in that position in here, just in here, and in that area I add this oil in that side, and oil goes in, and then I move that my that thing, and oil goes there inside. Okay, good. And then I rotate that my cable in upside down, and there is this another head in here, and in that area I need to add also, in that area also this oil in this part, in there. Then I take my oil can. There is this oil, and more oil in there inside. Okay, and then I lubricate that my cable more. And I think that I need to add this my oil in also in here. There is actually quite big damage, and I insert my oil in here, that area. Okay, and then I move that my cable again. Okay, good. And then I think that there is also that area that needs lubrication. Okay, and then I add this my lubrication so long in here and in here those cuttings that this my cable moves smoothly, and I will work that my cable within couple of minutes or 10 minutes, and then we continue. Okay, and now I have lubricated that handbrake cable well, and then I can start to go install that back. But of course I have to say that this is very rusty, this my cable, and maybe this my fix don't last then like 1 or 2 years, and maybe it is the better purchase in new original spare part cable would last like 20 years again. Okay, but this was that information that how to lubricate that brake cable, and then I start to install that cable back.